When I speak about freedom, what images flood your mind? Open doors, sailing ships or airplanes, broad fields with far horizons. Hey, if you dream of true freedom, I've got some good news for you today. Welcome to Mornings with Bishop Robert. Thanks for joining me as we discuss the best of the best freedom you can ever find. My goal is to introduce people to the Jesus they never knew, and then help them get to know Him and His Word personally and better. So if our time together today speaks to your heart, let me invite you to like, subscribe, and also share it with a friend. Now grab a cup and lift it up, and let's talk about freedom. You know, few things deliver an image of total freedom in my mind better than a stately bird floating in the sky overhead. I've got a beautiful hawk that lives in my area. I see him from time to time, but I hear him much more frequently. You know, many birds of different sizes fly all about, but he commands a sense of majesty with his presence. I often find myself stopping work for a minute when I hear his voice. And when I see him flying overhead out that window, I always stop and watch. There's a power in his freedom that's admirable. Well, today's verse says, you were chosen to be free. Yeah, freedom is powerful. Both freedom from things and the freedom to do things. And the Holy Spirit fills us with His mighty power. And we see both sorts of freedom impact our lives. The power of God's life-giving Spirit has freed us from the power of sin in our lives. And He alone has such a command over our heart. He can, and does, set people free. I remember a night where I spent some hours with a group of men who were learning to walk in the freedom of Christ's Holy Spirit, and a few men who were intrigued by the thought that such a freedom might actually be possible and open to them. Well, one of the men had openly shared about sins in his past that almost destroyed him, his marriage, and his family. These were sins that consumed him as well as controlled him. But the power of God's life-giving Spirit had freed him, and he walks in victory. His life is pure and being purified, and he walks from day to day in victory, but always relying on the power of the Holy Spirit to remain there. Well, his testimony encouraged these men who really needed to know that freedom from their demons is offered by Christ. Yeah, sin leads to death. Period. Full stop. And there's only one destination, and it's not a good one. The controlling sin in your life will continue to drag you down deeper and deeper and deeper, and finally it will crush you. In the end, death is the price. But the good news is that price of death has already been paid on your behalf. It's a gift waiting to be received. Yeah, freedom awaits those who want it. I told you about seeing my neighborhood hawk flying above the treetops. But I've also seen the dead carcasses of hawks decomposing on the sides of the road, struck and killed by cars. Now, at first glance, one wonders how that can even have occurred. I mean, being struck by a truck or a car results in instant death for a beautiful creature that had the capacity to fly well out of the reach of those vehicles. The hawk is unaware of the dangers it faces when he flies low. But that doesn't change the danger. Like hawks, our choices have consequences. even if we're unaware of what those consequences might be. But our freedom allows us to choose the path that leads to life and true freedom forever. Our freedom allows us to give ourselves fully and wholly to Jesus Christ. And when we do, well, he gives himself fully and wholly to us. Then he frees us from sin's power to control us. And in that freedom, we're offered the opportunity for the greatest exchange. We abandon death and receive life. If your life is controlled by sin, Christ offers you the greatest freedom you can imagine. And I'd love to discuss it. Message me. Let's talk. And for those of you who know him, can I ask you to help me introduce people to the Jesus they never knew and help them get to know him and his word personally and better? Please like this video. It will help more people see it. And then follow or subscribe so you and I can get together every day. Click the link in the description. You'll get this free copy of my book, Count to One. Download it right to your inbox. And one more thing. Share this video with a friend, would you? Because as you do, you are part of the team touching hearts all over the world with the love of Christ. Thank you for helping.